listening to the John Barrett Leadership Podcast, where you'll hear great ideas, insight, and inspiration to level up your leadership ability.
Hey everyone, it's John Barrett on the John Barrett Leadership Podcast. It is so great to have you here, tuning in once again for another episode. Hey listen, it is a new year and I am really excited about all the great things in store for you, all the great things in store for your leadership and your influence and your impact so that you can continue to grow. I want to share with you guys today a lesson that I gave as a leadership coach almost 15 years ago. That's right. I had this idea to do a podcast. Well, let me rephrase that. It wasn't even a podcast because I don't even know if, podcasts were around then, but they weren't as popular as they are now. So what I wanted to do was this kind of audio, digital kind of version of a leadership lesson that I would put out there. I didn't even know exactly at the time what medium to use, but it was going to be called Leadership Momentum, how to get momentum as a leader. And so I put together this very first lesson. I'll never forget, my family was out of town and I was at my dinner table and I recorded this lesson called The Heart of a Leader, the H.E.A.R.T, the heart of a leader. And it was just this idea of how to inspire leaders to get momentum called Leadership Momentum. So I want to share that with you guys. I love to look back sometimes and reflect. I don't know how I came across this in the archives of files that I had. I had totally forgotten about this thing. I haven't even thought about this in, literally probably 14 years. But I recorded this in the hopes to help inspire leaders, and I came across it, and I wanted to share it with you for a few reasons. Number one, I think there's some really great leadership nuggets in there that you're going to be able to extract and get. Number two, if you've been around me and my world for long enough, you're going to hear some of the same themes that I talk about today that were true back then. A message that I continue to use to this day. So it was kind of cool to look back and just see these things that have been I've been teaching, and to hear them maybe in a different light 15 years ago, how maybe they've evolved today. So that was kind of cool. The other thing is that I can see where I've grown as a leader in my own life. And when I look back and I listen back to that audio message that I gave that you're going to listen to here, I look back and I think, wow, there's so many things I wanted to add in there, so many things I could have said and that. So it's kind of cool to look back and just see how you've grown and just to kind of see the difference between 15 years ago as a leader, the things that were relevant versus the things that are relevant today. And many of those things are still relevant, but there's some things in there that I thought were pretty interesting. So anyway, all that to say that when I thought about this, I thought I want to share it with you guys as listeners. Hopefully you're going to pick up something great in here. Again, this was from 15 years ago at my dinner table that I just kind of shared some ideas about the heart of a leader that I think are going to be relevant today. So I hope you enjoy it. This is a blast from the past. Pick up some ideas, some truths in here that are going to help you as a leader. Check this out.
Welcome everyone to Leadership Momentum, a monthly mentoring resource designed to develop and grow your leadership potential. I'm John Barrett, and I am so excited to have the opportunity to teach you this month's lesson called The Heart of a Leader. So let's jump right in. You know, we've all heard the phrase, hey, they have a heart of a lion. You know, we've said that about athletes. We've said that about those we've encountered before that are doing a great job. We say, they got a heart of a lion. Well, what do we mean when we say they have a heart of a lion? Well, what we're really saying is that they never give up, that they never fear, that they're courageous, that they're strong, that they keep going and they keep giving and they do everything they can. You know, we say that, well, they may be small, but they've got a heart of a lion. And we've said that about people before. And I came across this story I want to read to you about a particular lion. It says, once upon a time, there was a lion living alone in the forest. And he decided to leave the forest to find another interesting place because he was bored with his life. So the lion kept moving until it found a small garden inside the city with many cats living in it. The lion lived among the cats and felt happy with its new life. And one day a little kid started to run toward the cats, and he ran fast, and as a result, all the cats felt afraid and they began to run. So the lion stood clueless, not knowing what to do, until one cat told him, run, run. And because the lion was clueless about the right action he was supposed to do, he just started to run as well. And days passed, and the lion started behaving more and more like cats until it forgot that it was a lion. This lion carried the heart of a lion, but because it was subjected to a great pressure to act like the cats, the lion, his heart was completely useless. And you know, leaders have within them the potential and the ability to inspire people, to move people, to get the best results out of those that they lead. We have got potential within us as a leader, but we can't forget who we are as a leader. See, we can't forget the potential that we have inside of us. Just like that lion, he forgot that he was a lion and he began to act like a cat. Sometimes leaders forget what the heart of leadership is all about. And you see, what leadership is all about is who we are, not just what we do. Dr. John C. Maxwell, he said this. He said, to measure a leader, put a tape around his heart, not his head. Leaders have heart, and they have a heart for people. Leaders have a heart for people. In your notes, it says this: the true test of a leader is not how smart they are, it's how genuine they are. It's not about how brilliant they are, it's how true they are. It's who they are on the inside, because who you are on the inside comes out on the outside. And people are more concerned about your inside than they are your outside. You see, in your notes, it says this: if you don't care for your people, you will never be able to lead your people. Think about it. The leaders that you've had in your life, did you want to do your best when you had a leader that wasn't giving you their best? Did you want to go above and beyond to a leader that didn't care about you, that just saw you as a statistic, as a number? They just saw you as kind of a program or just an employee, nothing really more. Did you want to give your best to that leader? No. You didn't go above and beyond. You just kind of did what was asked of you. But let me ask you this. What about a leader in your life that you've had that cared about you, that believed in you, that did everything they can to add value to you? Now, what did you do for that leader? I bet you went above and beyond. I bet you wanted to do anything you could to impress that leader and to give them your very best. Why? It's because they valued you. They cared for you. And when you care for your people as a leader, you will be able to get the very best out of them. I remember when I was growing up, I washed dishes at a local golf course at a country club. And I got this job as a dishwasher, not a prestigious job, just washing dishes and going in there and scraping off people's food and all their leftovers and putting it into the dishwasher and putting them up and that. And I had my boss, who was the main chef there, his name was Wayne, I'll never forget. He was incredible. This guy took time to care about me. Every time I would come in, he would ask me questions about how my day was. He would talk to me about what I was doing with my life. At the time, I was in a band in high school. I was in a rock band, and we were writing songs and traveling around and recording and doing things in high school. And he would always ask me about my band. And he'd go on and on. He'd say, that's so cool, John, that you're in a band. And tell me about your show the other night. How did it go? And I can't believe that. He made me feel special. He was asking questions about me, and he was much older than me. He was way beyond me. He was the leader there at the country club, but he took the time to connect with me. And because he connected with me, I wanted to give Wayne my very best. I'm telling you, I looked forward to coming to work. I was only making $5 an hour washing dishes, but you know what? I looked forward to going to work because I loved the connection with Wayne. He looked out for me, and he cared about me, and when I got around him, I felt lifted up. You see, he cared for me, and he got the best out of me because of that. See, leaders know their greatest asset is people. Leaders know that their greatest asset is people. See, a company's greatest asset is not their product, it's their people. And so your greatest asset is not what you offer in your organization, it's who the product helps. It's about people. You see, if there weren't people in the world, then your product wouldn't matter at all, would it? No, of course not. Your product only matters because people are the ones that buy it, or people are the one that is impacted by your product, by your services as an organization. And so if you want to grow your products and you want to have more market range, you want to have better success in your organization, then here's what you do. You develop your people. You begin to connect and care for your people, because when you care for your people, they will rise up and they will begin to create better products. People create products. You don't manage people. You manage products, but you lead people. You see, people they don't want to be managed. They want to be led. People aren't programs. They're not statistics. They're not just another number. People are people, and they have heart. And when you connect with them with your heart, then all of a sudden, they begin to rise up and give you even more. You see, you manage products. Products are just intangible things. They're elusive. They're just a wrapped, prepackaged product that is out there. But people are real. People are living and breathing. They have heart, they have feelings, they have emotions, they have ups and they have downs, and they need to be led. And so leaders understand that they don't manage their people, they lead their people and inspire them for greater things. You see, leadership is about influencing others. And in order to influence others, you've got to be able to lead them. You've got to be able to connect with them, and you've got to be able to care for those people. You see, the higher you lift your people, the higher your organization goes. The higher you lift your people, the higher your organization will go. You see, in order to grow a business, you have to grow the people. And the more you develop your people, the more you develop your leaders underneath you, the more that you develop your impact in your organization. You see, the growth of your leaders will be the rate of your growth as a business. So goes your leaders, so goes your business. So grows your leaders, so grows your business. If you want to grow your business, grow your people. When you lift your people up, when you add value to them and you connect with them, and as a leader, you have a heart that begins to impact them, you lift them to a higher level. And you know what I've found? That when you lift others to a higher level, guess what? You get to go with them. That's right. When you lift others up, you get to go with them. You get to piggyback off their success. You see, a leader is successful because they're the leader. Positionally, they're over the person that is under them. And so when that leader begins to lift up those underneath them positionally and begin to lift them to a higher level, guess what? They get to go up with them. They get to have the influence on them. And so when you lift your people, you're going to lift your organization. A lot of business owners come up, and I do some small business owner leadership seminars and different things to help entrepreneurs and that grow their business. And many business owners will come up and they'll say, John, how do I grow my business? What do I do? What's the next strategy? What's the next thing that I need? What's the product out there? What's the next best thing that we can do to market this and market that? And it's interesting because they always kind of talk about their product, and they talk about their strategy, and they talk about marketing in order to get their product out there more. And that's valid. Don't get me wrong. Don't hear what I'm not saying in this. That is very valid. There are some great techniques to do that. But what I find interesting is this, is that rarely do they talk about how can I grow my people so that it will grow my business. Usually they're looking for external ways to grow their business, new ideas, new market strategies. They're looking for new demographics, and they're looking for all different kinds of new techniques. But the reality is that you grow your business from within. Now, when you begin to grow your people, then all of a sudden they're able and they're capable of taking those strategies and those new ideas and those fresh market advances and all these things that cause a business to grow. They're able to carry that now because your people are bigger on the inside so that they can take bigger responsibilities and make a bigger impact on the outside. So lift your people to a higher level, and your organization will significantly go to a higher level. See, what you make happen for others, they will make happen for you. When you take others to a higher level, they'll take you to a higher level with them. You see, great leaders are great not because they're just great, but because they surround themselves with great people. Did you get that? You see, great leaders are great not because they're great, but because they surround themselves with great leaders. See, when you have great leaders around you, you will become great as well as the leader. Isn't that cool? Isn't that a great principle? You know, what you make happen for others, they'll make happen for you. So you begin to lift others up, they'll begin to lift you up. See, Zig Ziglar said this, you can have anything you want in life if you will help enough other people get what they want. I remember when I heard Zig saying that, I was cleaning a dialysis center in Tennessee. I had this job, and I was working on my leadership career, and I was in ministry at the time, and I was working on just bettering myself. And so I took this side job, and I was cleaning a dialysis center late at night. I had to do it after they closed, before they opened up at 8 in the morning. So I'd go in about midnight or so and clean it for a few hours. And I would just go in there by myself, and I would put on my Walkman. That's what I had at the time. I had a tape player, and I had Zig Ziglar, and I had how to set goals, and I'd put in that tape, and I'd put it in my Walkman, and I'd put on my headphones, walk in the dialysis center, pull out the mop, and begin cleaning. And I'd listen to Zig Ziglar for 2 hours. And I would listen to the same tape over and over and over until I was memorizing just about everything that he said. And it influenced me. I was a young kid. I was only, I think, 21 years old, right around there. And I was going and doing this, and I was learning more in that dialysis center than I had years of my life before that. I was learning more. Why? Because Zig was teaching me that if you can help others, then you will get everything you want in life. If you will live a life of greatness by making others great, you will become great. And he taught these incredible principles, and it changed my life. And I began to see that as I began to enter in and leading people and beginning to lead these organizations that I was a part of, I began to find that if I would help make other people's dreams come true, and I would focus on their strengths and their gifts, then that would be returned back to me. It was an incredible principle. And here's what I found out in leadership. A leader touches a heart before they ask for a hand. You see, a leader is able to touch the heart of people and inspire them. And as a result, that person says, what can I do for you? And they'll give you their hands. Hey, they'll give you both their hands. They'll give you their time. They'll give you their energy. They'll give you the best they got when you touch their heart. So as a leader, how do you touch a heart? How do you touch other people's hearts so that you can begin to get their hand to be able to do great things together? Well, here's what I think. Let's take heart. The H for heart is this. You touch a heart by giving honor. It's about honor. You see, it's not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. You see, honor is to give respect and worth to others. You see, you can't truly respect someone if you secretly dishonor them on the inside, right? I mean, people see past that. Fake it till you make it kind of a thing. Hey, I'll act like I honor you and I value you so that I can get something from you. No. People see through that. You've seen that through other people in your life, haven't you? Sure you have. No. You can't lead someone until you gain their respect. And respect and honor is earned by giving honor. So if you want more honor as a leader, then you've got to give honor away to your people. And when you give honor to your people, they'll give honor back to you. See, here's what I've found in leadership is who you appreciate appreciates in value. So when you begin to appreciate your leaders and give honor to them, their value begins to appreciate. It gets better and better and bigger, and they begin to feel honor within. And then what do? They return the favor by honoring you. You see, honor and respect and worth, those are all earned. They're earned. We don't just demand it from people. It's earned because we've given them honor. You see, speak highly of people in public. Build people up with honor. One of the best ways that you can give honor to your people and touch their heart is brag on them for what they're doing right. Too many leaders pick out what people are doing wrong. And yes, as a leader, we need to make sure that we're shoring up those weaknesses and those things that we need to make better. But you know what? Just as much, if not 10 times more, do we need to pick out the things that are going right. We need to honor the things that they're doing well. And I'll tell you what, nothing will give honor to someone more than for you to publicly acknowledge them and appreciate them. When you appreciate them publicly, then all of a sudden their value begins to appreciate on the inside, and it goes up. And I don't mean public. I'm not saying that you've got to get up on a stage and honor every single person. But you know what? As you're walking through the crowd and you just give honor to somebody, that lifts them up. I remember I went to go visit a organization one time, and I met the guy that I was going to do some leadership development with, and he was walking me around the office, and he was introducing me to other people in the organization. And I'll never forget that when every time he went up to a new person, he'd walk up to the secretary and say, hey, this is Sally, John, and you know what? Sally is the best secretary we've ever had. She is phenomenal. I'll tell you what, she's the best that we could get here in this organization. And I thought, well, wow, Sally must be amazing. And I thought, well, wow, that's awesome. Hey, nice to meet you, Sally. And then we would move on, and he'd go into somebody else. He'd bump into the janitor in the hallway, and he'd say, John, I want you to meet Rick. This is Rick, our janitor. And Rick is one of the best janitors we've ever hired in this organization. He goes above and beyond. Let me tell you about Rick. Rick is a leader. He's not just a janitor. Rick is a leader. He does a fantastic job of making this building everything that it can be to represent who we are as an organization. And I thought, well, goodness gracious, Rick, you must be incredible. I mean, how did you get and you get the point. He went on, every single person that he introduced me to, he went on and on and on about how they were the best at what they do. And I thought, well, gosh, how did you get all these people? I mean, where did you go? I mean, did you hire an agency to go find the best of the best? No, they didn't. You know what he did? He was honoring them, and he was lifting them up. And as a result, they were lifting the organization. All these people had smiles on their face, and they loved it when their leader talked about them that way. That's what it means to give honor to your leaders. When you do that, you're going to touch a heart. You see, your influence will increase when you honor those around you. People respond when they feel honored. And leadership is based on honor. The second thing that we've got to do to touch a heart is we've got to encourage people. We've got to encourage those around us as a leader. And you know what encouragement does? This is what encouragement does. It puts courage in people. When you encourage somebody, you put courage in them. And when you place courage in them, they begin to rise to that level of expectation. You see, Napoleon Bonaparte said that leaders are dealers in hope. To encourage is to put courage in others. It's to put hope in them, and courage and strength. And so when you go around and you begin to speak words of encouragement to your people, I guarantee you it will energize them, and it will put courage in them to step out and do things that you never thought were possible from them. You see, when someone has courage on the inside, look out, because they will begin to take significant steps in greater things. You see, when someone doesn't